My name's Näser. I'm German native. Been with Marsh for 2 years now. I'm a political risk and structured credit client advisor located in Munich, Germany, and I'm an Aberdeen alumni. Studied the Master of Science in International Relations and Management from September 2020 to September 2021.
Yeah, thank you very much. And why did you decide to do your bachelor's degree in governance in the first place?
So I would say being the first one of my family to go to uni, I was inspired by my interest in international politics and
Mm.
politics in general. When I graduated from high school was a pretty tumultuous time. So the migrant crisis, the European migrant crisis took place in the year before. The British voted for Brexit and Trump was campaigning.
Yeah.
So I thought picking a multidisciplinary program, such as the one I did in Passau, gave me a good path, a good first step into academia. And because it was so interdisciplinary, I could try things out. And I just hope to find my own way and see where it leads.
Hmm.
In a retrospective perspective, of course, one could have done things differently. Could have taken some courses in economics, could have taken some courses in related to banking and financial markets,
Hmm.
which probably could have come in handy in my current role. But other than that, it was a really, really great time. I think similar to Passau is relatively similar to Aberdeen, maybe, because it's a campus uni. It's not that big of a town. You meet people multiple times during the day, so yeah, I think was a nice time.
Interesting. And why did you choose particular University of Aberdeen for your master's degree? Why Aberdeen?
So because I didn't have an Erasmus during my undergraduate, I decided to pursue a postgraduate abroad.
Hmm.
So not in Germany or Austria
Yeah.
or one of the neighboring countries. And I guess I was always sort of fascinated with the UK. I applied for 4 universities. I had an offer from Leicester, Lincoln, Glasgow, and Aberdeen. And I liked the course outlook from the University of Aberdeen. I liked that Aberdeen's located at the sea, which I think was good because it was COVID and you wanted to, spend at least some time outdoors. And that was the reason why I picked Aberdeen.
Right. And your early experience includes working with the Saxon State Parliament and also KAC Belarus. How did
Mhm.
this role prepare you for your current work in risk and insurance management?
Okay. So to my current role, the extent wasn't necessarily,
Mhm.
the effect wasn't necessarily that big. It gave me some effects in stakeholder management, like keeping deadlines in mind, something like that. But especially my time in Lithuania and in Belarus was interesting insofar that I was able to have a chat with young opposition, young opposition leaders, and to have albeit it's a relatively small insight, a
Mhm.
limited insight into what life of those people was. I also like to travel. I would say I'm maybe a bit of an adventurous guy. So I think Northeastern Europe was a region that I haven't really traveled
Mhm.
to, and that was the reason why I picked it.
That's very interesting. And your role at Marsh focuses on advising clients on mitigation, political and credit risks. What are some of the most complex challenges companies face in these areas today?
Okay. So Marsh being the world's largest insurance broking and risk management advisory company that there is, we have a turnover of let me check 24 billion US dollars last year. So we're quite a behemoth. Uh,
Mhm.
um, we publish an annual political risk report. So the one for 2025 that just came out recently. And this year, it sort of touches upon the reshaping of global trade towards more protectionist attitudes, the challenges of using so-called connector countries, so
Yeah.
countries who are located between the two blocks, China and Russia on the one hand, and the EU and US on the other hand. Um, Such countries include, for example, Turkey, Morocco, Chile, Malaysia, Vietnam, whatever. and yeah, how to use the political risk associated in, especially in those countries, in your supply chain diversification efforts.
Hmm.
And the third trend we're currently seeing are the opportunities and obligations that are related to the energy transition. Um, yeah, moving towards a greener future, I would say.
That's very interesting. And how has your experience, like your responsibilities, maybe evolved from being graduate trainee to becoming client advisor in political risk and structured credit?
hmm Yeah, one of the great things about this Marsh graduate program, which in Germany lasts 18 months, is although I never had
Hmm.
experience with the insurance industry or risk management industry in general beforehand, it sort of allows you to familiarize yourself with the technical aspects of credit insurance first,
Yeah.
and then you have to establish connections with first the people in your own company, then with clients, and then with carriers slash insurers, always being supervised by my business mentor. So you always had somebody you can put a eye on that you could ask for guidance for.
Hmm.
That was very important to me. And I think at the turn of, yeah, 2024, I eventually took over some key client accounts, the discussions involved in their projects, the placement of those respective policies. And yeah, that's where I'm currently at now, right now. From my honest point of view, I can wholeheartedly endorse the graduate program. I think it's a great way for university graduates to get a foot in the door at a huge company with a bunch of different possibilities. I mean, if you want to go into ESG advisory, if you want to do something with commodity trading, if you want to advise clients on their risks related to cyber, I think there's a whole range of possibilities, and that's pretty cool to work for such a company.
That's very interesting. And nowadays, so what's your advice for students how to stand out when they're applying for graduate roles at companies like Marsh? Is it like having completed like internships during their undergraduate degree or how to stand out here?
Of course, are nice to have, but I would say just be write a good cover letter, really work on propping up your CV, and then be, I don't know, communicative, just have a good first interview, try to have a conversation with you. At least that was my experience with my office head. I had the first interview I had with my office head,
Hmm.
and my second interview I had with my now business mentor. Um, yeah, I would just generally say how do you stand out? Be open-minded, be approachable, show that you're interested, show that you're willing to learn, and yeah, just be a overall great person around. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you. And what are some strategies that you use to help businesses to manage structured credit risk in uncertain economic conditions?
Okay, sure. So since I'm based in Germany, I would probably recommend what we are recommending to clients is a sort of a two-tiered structure in for businesses who are conducting, for example, EPC projects, so engineering, procurement, and construction projects, or if you're a German mid-sized company that's sending machinery abroad, and your respective client, your respective obligor has to pay the machine in several installments over a prolonged period of time. Um, since we have a pretty strong German export credit agency, where basically the German government is the guarantor of the yeah, insurance behind it,
Yeah.
and they also don't have to pay insurance premium tax, and yeah, basically the German government they have a competitive service offering. Um, I would try to say that you should place the really hard project with a really long tenor, with a really bad risk that you can't place on the private market. Do that with the German government, and where sector risk is okay, the country risk is okay, the credit risk is okay. We can have an argument with underwriters if we can cover your credit risk basically.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And how do you
Mm.
see the landscape of political risk insurance evolving in the response to current uh, global, like political uncertainties?
Market capacity has been steadily climbing up until COVID, but since it sort of has stabilized on a pretty high level. So we mainly use two markets, which we are talking to, the Lloyd's market, which is based in London, and the corporate insurance market, where you have companies like Allianz Trade, AXA, Scorer, Liberty, Chubb, just to name a few, who provide market capacity. And of course, due to the whole situation that is going on, with Russia and Ukraine and Taiwan and China, all of that, insurers are actually trying to downsize their risks associated with such potential
Yeah.
hotbeds. They don't want to renew, or they don't want to widen out existing capacity. A similar thing is really taking place with the German ECA. So they're sort of trying to incentivize companies to, instead of investing into China, they sort of would like companies to invest in other countries, for example, in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
So I think the market in itself is always pretty much turning, pretty much evolving. But also coming maybe back to the interplay between the financial and the political risk associated. We as Marsh, we don't carry the risk. We just try to broker it. We just try to provide a solution for our respective clients. And sometimes there's market appetite for certain transactions on insurance market, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's sort of the interplay we have to deal with.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And about your time at the university, what are some of your favorite memories from Aberdeen, apart from studying, maybe from social life?
Yeah, well, that's a pretty tricky question because it was during COVID, so I didn't really have a social life. Scotland opened up, I believe, in April of 2021. Yeah, and then you could go to pubs and stuff like that, and maybe mingle with other students on a yeah on a limited basis. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have the whole university experience, but nevertheless, it really gave me. I'm glad that I did it. Nevertheless, I'm glad that I persisted through this challenging time, and I think this is a key learning that you can take away for the rest of your life. That you simply have to persist at some point. But I don't want to leave on such a depressing note. Um, I don't know. I just really liked walking around Aberdeen a bit, maybe exploring Aberdeen a bit. I think especially the west part of Aberdeen is absolutely beautiful. I even think it's got some gorgeous parks there. Footy is really, really cute. I enjoyed my strolls along the beach. And it's not like I didn't make any sort of friends. It's the few friends that I made, I'm still very much in close contact with. And yeah, every time I'm back in Scotland, I like to think that I had still get some good memories with it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And are there any books or podcasts you would recommend for students, career related or maybe not career related, something that you
Yeah.
find maybe motivating?
Yeah, sure. Um, I probably I recently came across a book by Condoleezza Rice about political risk. I think she published that in 2018, but I think it still holds some truth. If you want to check out some business associations that are related to political risk, I would probably recommend ITFA, so the International Trade Financial Organization or Association. And there's also a podcast, the Political Risk podcast, hosted by David Benyon,
Mhm.
which is always interesting to listen to.
Thank you. And the last question is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
What advice would I give to my younger self? Yeah, as I already mentioned, maybe do some courses in related to banking, related to financial risk, maybe do some courses in economics. if you want to spend time abroad, get a head start during your undergraduate. I know EU countries have this Erasmus program, and that's a pretty awesome thing, I would say. Um, I think that's really about it. Um, I think the future in itself it's bright. I think our generation, our Gen Z, is needed on the job market. And if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to step up, if you're willing to take on challenges, if you're willing to grow professionally, then I think there's definitely an opportunity there. My business mentor is about to leave the company
Mhm.
after 15 years now, and people have to step up and take ownership. And those are some, if the opportunity for career growth is there, then you can take it, I would say.